We're going to continue on with how we can search through array lists and arrays. This time we're going to talk about how we can use the primitive double type or the wrapper class capital D double inside angle brackets. Our first example, again, we're going to start off right here with our method. It's a private Boolean check contents. This time we're going to use our parameter sequence is a little bit different. The parameter signature has a double search, a double delta, and an array list wrapper class D double called values. Now, if we have the now, because we have the amazing feature of Java auto-boxing and unboxing, I can immediately extract out the double, lowercase d, out of that array list of capital D doubles right there. Or if this were an int, I could do that same approach using double value O values if it was an array of doubles as well. Now, I have right here the example we had earlier from when we were talking about ints, but this is not the correct answer. We don't want to say if value equals search. When we're talking about a double, because of the fact we don't have an exact amount of precision that we're knowing that we're storing with, or how close the numbers are to each other, because of the way the double itself is actually stored inside the actual IEEE formula specification, we have to use something instead of use the equals operator. When we want to compare a double, we have to do a little bit of a different set of approach. We have to make a more complex comparison to make sure the double itself is what we're looking for. So instead, when we're doing a double comparison or searching for a double, instead of using the equals operator, we have to use a little bit of math. And so we're going to use the math.random, not random. We're going to use the amazing power of math.abs. Now, if you remember the graph of the absolute value, it's a lovely V-shaped graph like this, right? So you take your fist, boom, point them right there at your stomach, and boom, you've got a V-shaped graph. You've got abs. Oh, you're pointing, I know, bad jokes, but it works. So we're going to take math.abs, and we're going to take that abs, and we're going to take the value we're searching for, search, and we're going to subtract it from the value we're working with. Minus value, and I'm using math.abs so that it doesn't matter what direction we're talking about, we always are going to have a positive value when we do that subtraction. So it gives me a difference right there, so how close they are. And if that difference is less than my delta parameter, so now if math.abs is less than that delta, let's make sure it's in brown so it matches properly. So you can see that we're working with that, boom. So that matches the correct parens right there. So if math.abs of search minus value, if that difference between those is small enough, aka it's less than or equal to, if you wanted to have that, less than that delta or that difference between the values, is it close enough to match? If so, then we're going to go ahead and return true. We've searched through and found that because, again, because we can't specify how close a double is, we have to make sure we use the ability to use that math.abs, passing it search minus value, the parameter we're looking for, and the parameter we're actually examining, making sure that the difference between them is acceptable. Now this delta right here is arbitrarily specified by you, the programmer. How close do you care about that? When you look at your math class, your science class, your chemistry class, your physics class, when you're talking about significant figures or significant digits, you usually care about 2, maybe 3 decimal places. So if that's the case, your delta value you're looking at, is it greater, the difference is less than 0.001? Is it close enough to that? Or is it even more fine-tuned? Is it 0.0001? How close do you actually care about those values? That's that delta we're talking about. And so when you use that right there, when we're searching through an array or an array list of double, we have to make sure we use that comparison, and we use the math.abs comparison on that. Because math.abs allows us to separate the difference, and if it's close enough, we're good. If it's not close enough, false. And so that's when we're searching for a linear structure if we want to see if it's close enough with a double. We can't guarantee an exact match with the double, so instead, is that double close enough? When we use math.abs and a delta or a difference value to make that happen. So that's how we search for using a double value inside an array or an array list. I'm using a for each loop, so it would work with either depending on what you're passing as a parameter. And again, auto-boxing automatically takes it out to the smaller form of a primitive from that array list of capital D double.